Well, since the Hamas terror attacks on Israel, there has been a significant rise in hate crimes across the country, including right here in New York.
And yesterday, Governor Hochul announced additional funding for state police investigating these attacks. She plans to invest $2.5 million in hiring more investigators, primarily in New York City, Albany, Buffalo, and Rochester. In New York City, hate crimes reports, while they're soaring in New York, with a reported 214% spike in anti-Semitic offenses. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo urging Governor Hochul to deploy the National Guard. He's joining us this morning. Nice to have you on Good Day New York. How are things? What have you been up to?
Good day to you, Rosanna. Good day to you, Bianca. Well, it's a crazy world, Rosanna. What can I say? And you just mentioned the anti-Semitism that is going on, not just in New York. This is a national problem. It's a global problem, but it's a pressing problem. It's frightening.
So let me ask you something. You're criticizing Governor Hochul. You've been in her shoes. You don't think what she's doing is enough right now?
I don't think we're doing enough. Let's talk governmentally first of all. As we've discussed, you're looking at about a 300% increase in anti-Semitic attacks, assaults, etc. And the Jewish community does not feel safe. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people that are talking about buying guns to protect themselves. We had demonstrations the other day, and you're free to demonstrate, but you have to follow the law. They closed down Grand Central Station. I mean, it was a frightening scene. And the NYPD, God bless them, they're our first line of defense, and they're out there. State police, I think, is a good move. I think the governor was right. I would also deploy the National Guard, which we did many times, as a complementary force and as a show of force. You know, when you see the National Guard out, and we've done this before, it gives people confidence. It knows that you're taking it seriously. And I think we need to assure the Jewish community that we stand with them. You know, our strength as New Yorkers is our diversity is our strength, and we come together, and we need more dialogue and more understanding, and we need every New Yorker to say, anti-Semitism has no place in this state. There is no place in this state for hate. And that's what we do when we're at our...
So I'm just wondering, you know, listen, though those protests on Friday were frightening for everybody, because not only were they ripping down the Israeli flag, they were ripping down the American flag, and it looked like the police were barricaded in Grand Central trying to hold down the place. But, you know, there are some people, like former Assemblyman Dov Hikind, who thinks you're grandstanding when you say call in the National Guard. Are you?
Look, if anyone who says that we don't have a problem with anti-Semitism is not living in the real world. Anyone who says the Jewish community in this state, of course the country, but in this state also, isn't afraid today, isn't living in the real world. We have called out the National Guard many times in situations like this. One of their roles is to protect public safety. Yes, we have the NYPD. Yes, we have the state police. But we've used the National Guard quite effectively, especially at mass transit hubs, Grand Central, etc. And that scene at Grand Central, Rosanna, was frightening. It was frightening. You want to protest, you can protest. But don't rip down the American flag. You can't close down Grand Central Station. You can't stop trains from running. Literally, they had stranded commuters. It was chaos. And the city is at a very fragile point right now, and with a lot going on. And job one for government is public safety. People have to feel safe in this city, and they don't, and especially the Jewish community. And I think we have to do more.
Well, let me ask you, what does that look like practically? Because you're saying you cannot be shutting down subways, you cannot be tearing down these flags. So what does that look like to you? What would those consequences be?
Yeah, we've been through difficult situations before, right? And now we have a problem, especially with anti-Semitism and protecting the Jewish community. But we've gone through this before, where the Asian community was targeted, the Muslim community was targeted.
So how do you stop? How do you stop this?
Sorry?
How do you stop this? I mean, you're saying we're not doing enough. What would enough look like to you? What are those steps that you take to stop this?
There is the law. That's what we do. You want to demonstrate, God bless you. Demonstrate. But you have to demonstrate legally. And it is illegal to destroy public property. It is illegal to close down Grand Central Station and stop people from commuting because you want to make a political point. And respect for the law and New Yorkers knowing that the law is enforced is very important, especially to the Jewish community today.
Can I ask you a question? Because I know you've been a big Biden supporter, but you've also slammed him about his handling of the southern border, all while the number of people on the terrorist watch list stopped at the southern border has risen. And that's just stopped. We don't know how many people have gotten through. Are you worried a bit about our safety here, maybe in New York, as we've seen kind of Hamas sympathizers? We don't know where they're coming from. Are you worried about that? An attack maybe happening here?
Yeah, plan forward, right? Not my word. I think the migrant problem is a debacle in the way it's being handled. And it is a major problem for the city of New York. 130,000 migrants in New York City. There is no legal, moral, political argument why New York City should be responsible for 130,000 migrants. They just projected now a $14 billion deficit for New York City. Why is the deficit? Two reasons. We're losing people who are leaving, high wealth people who happen to be the people who pay the majority of the taxes in New York, and the costs have gone up, especially the costs to take care of the migrants. I have to tell you, Mayor Adams is exactly right. This migrant problem is first a federal problem. It's their responsibility. They manage the border, they manage the immigration laws. This is their issue. It's a state issue. And I say that as a former governor, but there is no reason why this should have been dropped on the shoulders of New York City with all we have going on, and the city cannot handle it. Physically, logistically, they can't handle it, and economically, they cannot bear this cost. They can't.
So let me ask you something. I know that you mentioned that New York has a lot going on, and as you know, Mayor Adams, it looks like he's under investigation for possibly fast-tracking the opening of the Turkish consulate. I know you know a thing or two about investigations. How would you advise him at this point? Because they pull him over in his SUV last week. They confiscate his electronics. It's almost like they're publicly humiliating him.
Yeah, Rosanna, you're right. I think that's right. And you're right. I was an assistant district attorney in Manhattan. I was the state attorney general. I was a cabinet secretary under Clinton. I understand law enforcement. But I think they have been very heavy-handed here with the mayor, publicly humiliating the mayor. I have not heard anything that suggests behavior that would justify what they're doing. The only thing we've heard is that when he was borough president, he called the fire commissioner of the city of New York to expedite a permit for the Turkish embassy. That's not a crime. And if you say an elected official shouldn't call a city commissioner to expedite a regulatory function, then you're going to have to arrest every elected official in the city and the state of New York. So I think it's very heavy-handed. And not only that, the mayor has a job to do. And when they do what they did, they've hurt his ability to do his job as mayor. They've hurt his credibility. And all these problems we're talking about, Why would you publicly humiliate the mayor of New York, make it harder for him to do his job? I understand law enforcement, but if you have a case, bring it and tell the people why. But don't publicly humiliate the mayor and then expect him to be.
So, before you go, I got to ask you this, because there's a lot of speculation going on. If the mayor, we're talking hypotheticals, if the mayor has to step aside, if there is a special election, would you throw your hat into the ring and run for mayor of New York City?
If the Jets have an opening on the offensive line, might I be interested? I have not heard anything that would suggest that Mayor Adams has done anything serious.
But would you, if we're talking hypotheticals, if he has to resign, would you consider a run as mayor of New York City?
I don't deal in hypotheticals, Rosanna, and I think it's premature, and I think it is, frankly, hurtful to suggest that the mayor is in that kind of situation, because it just furthers this inability to do his job and erodes his credibility. Mayor Adams is going to be mayor. Calling a fire commissioner to expedite a permit is not a crime, not justify the way they've handled this at all. And I think we could stand behind the mayor unless they give us a reason to say otherwise. But this migrant issue, the fiscal problem, the crime problem in New York, people leaving, he has his hands full. And as New Yorkers, you know, the mayor, unless we come together as New Yorkers and we work together and support one another, no one's going to be able to handle these problems. So let's focus on less discord and more support for each other and support for our elected officials to try to get through this very difficult situation. Because you guys were chatting before about remote work. Post-COVID is a different world, and it is a challenge for cities. You know, cities were places you had to go to work.
Right.
That's not true anymore. And New York has to be attractive. It has to be safe. You have to want to come in and go to the restaurants, etc. So this is a difficult time for the city. And we have to be very careful. You know, I was Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Cities are organic and living things, and we're on a balance beam here right now, and it can tip one way or the other. So let's be positive. Let's work together. Let's support the mayor, and let's go forward.
Andrew Cuomo, thank you so much for talking with us on Good Day New York. I know you have a podcast. I see you on social media. I know you're getting your voice out there heard. We appreciate you coming on Good Day.
Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Bianca. Rosanna, best regards to the family.
And to yours as well. Thank you.